number of log cabin members are Generation X or younger or millennials, and we often hear in forums concern about the ability, the solvency of entitlements. And so back to what you're talking about, a balanced budget, and everyone sharing the so-called shared adversity or shared burden. Your thoughts about reform? I know that you have positions out there, but I don't know if everyone here is familiar with where you stand on entitlement reform.
Let me just address Jared LaRocque's question here, text question first, which is, would you have a full audit of the Federal Reserve? Absolutely. What is needed when it comes to the full Federal Reserve is just full transparency, and an audit would provide that, in my opinion. Abolishing the Federal Reserve would bring about 100% transparency. We need to stop printing money. That's really the crux. And by balancing the federal budget, we still might have to print money, but by enacting the fair tax, I think that that's going to promote savings to the point where perhaps the printing of money goes away. I am promising to submit a balanced budget to Congress in the year 2013. That means addressing entitlements. When it comes to Social Security is not enacting the fair tax. Social Security will not be something that gets paid for by you as the employee or your employer matching it. That will come out of the proceeds of the fair tax. The fair tax does away with all withholdings completely. But to make Social Security solvent into the future, I think it's very simply a combination of raising the retirement age, means testing, changing the escalator that's built into Social Security from the wage index to the inflation rate. Social Security as a problem is small in comparison to Medicaid and Medicare. When it comes to Medicaid and Medicare, as governor of New Mexico, I reformed Medicaid in New Mexico. We took it from a fee-for-service model to a managed care model. We basically gave every citizen in New Mexico my health insurance policy as governor of New Mexico. We saved a lot of money, and we set up much better healthcare networks to be able to meet even the rural most New Mexicans' needs. I believe that as governor of New Mexico, if I would have been given the delivery of Medicaid in New Mexico, if I would have been given that responsibility, and if the federal government would have done away with all the strings and all the mandates associated with how I had to spend the money for Medicaid and given me 43% less money, I believe that I could have effectively overseen the delivery of health care to the poor in New Mexico with 43% less money. I believe that I could do the same thing when it comes to Medicare. Right now, Medicare, very simply, is a fee-for-service model nationwide. Just change that to managed care. But if you give Medicaid and Medicare back to the states, 50 laboratories of innovation, 50 laboratories of best practice, I think you'll have just that. I think you'll have some amazing success that'll get emulated. I think you'll also have some spectacular failure that'll get avoided because we're all so competitive. But if we don't reform these entitlements, we're going to all find ourselves with nothing. So on the plus, on the negative side, this is we need to cut Medicaid and Medicare. But on the plus side, we can do it, and if we do it, we'll all be left with, in my opinion, a safety net that will truly deliver health care to those in need. But we have to have reform. We can't continue to spend as much money, as much more money than what we're taking in, or we're going to find ourselves in a monetary collapse.
Governor, would that include also entitlements for military benefits as well for retirees? And of course, there's its own version of socialized medicine in the VA.
Well, I'm asked about a balanced budget and a 43% reduction in really all federal spending. Well, that wouldn't be all federal spending. When it comes to veterans and veterans benefits, and these are promises that have been made and need to be kept, and certainly that would be health care, whatever aspect of health care that would involve for any veteran that has served this country and paid a price to serve this country. So in that context, but can we deliver goods and services more effectively in every single category? My experience as governor of New Mexico is the answer to that is an overwhelming yes. There is no area of government that can't be improved. Improvement being the notion that you can deliver better products and better services for lower prices, or at a minimum, same goods and services for less money.